There are 3 things that make a good blader. That is an effective launch, their bond with their Beyblade, and any of their natural abilities, like their strength or intellect. But what if you have none of those? Or maybe just one? Well, that's okay. Most bladers like Free de la Hoya often rely on just one of these abilities, even though they don't have them all. Free wasn't a good blader, or a great athlete. Or was he? While Free was growing up, he used Kaiser Beys, a right spin Beyblade, and usually versed Chris, which wasn't very experienced at that time. Later on though, he went on to become the #1 blader in the world, but that is by using Drain Fafnir. So Drain Fafnir is a very sneaky Beyblade that can, as the name suggests, drain an opposite spin Beyblade's stamina. This made Free de la Hoya be very cocky, especially at the beginning of the Beyblade Burst Evolution season.
Did you say lose? You guys are funny. That's a thought that has never once crossed my mind.
He was always dismissive of his fellow bladers.
So you have fun losing?
Going so far as to have never shaken anyone's hand up until that point. What a guy. With his reliance on using his Beyblade's rubber gimmick to win matches by using a hand spin, like when he battles Valt and Rantaro in the first few episodes of the season,
I'm gonna use my hand to spin it.
Made him lazy and uninterested in other people. Now this does change over time, but that's mostly due to him losing to Louis Shirosagi. I believe that at this point is when Free de la Hoya realized that he's not the strongest blader anymore, nor the smartest, as he lost his #1 spot. Now because of this loss, he worked on his strength and his people skills, but it still wasn't enough for him to claim the #1 spot again. You can blame Valt's plot armor all you want, but overtraining is a real thing that happens to athletes in the real world, and overtraining is what caused him to lose the match versus Valt. In Beyblade Burst Turbo, he upgraded his Beyblade, and even though he could have won his matches, he lost terribly to Phi, and this time it could have easily been won with a handspin. In my opinion, he launched Geist Fafnir way too hard, and this backfired on him. This time though, it was because he was being consumed by anger and the fear of losing.
If I lose to him, it will mean our style of blading is a total failure.
The next time we see him is in Beyblade Burst Surge, where he had more control over his emotions and his Beyblade. Now this allowed him to win more matches. Not all, but he was on his way to becoming a better blader. In Beyblade Burst Quadrive, he was quick to upgrade his Beyblade as he saw Valt lose to Bell. But why? You see, Free de la Hoya was never a good blader. He was an extraordinary one. He, as mentioned by Kit Lopez, worked out the hardest out of all the bladers.
He trains his body more than anyone else.
He had the most stamina out of all bladers too, as we witnessed him run laps around Valt. After being defeated so many times, most people would just quit. Most of us find a new hobby or sport, just something that we can easily do. It's our nature. But Free stuck with his Beyblade, and when that didn't work, he upgraded. He saw the flaws in himself and tried to overcome them, not only by training his body, but his mind too, by meditating. He reshaped his frame of mind several times, from being consumed with anger and power to being a master of his Beyblade and himself. A master who could see others' potential and effectively predict their power level. He helped Valt, Hikaru, and Bell in their own Beyblade journeys. I think that we could all learn a lot from Free de la Hoya, and hopefully one day be as great. I think it's likely we'll see him again in the next series of Beyblade Burst, where he may develop his skills even more and hopefully become the #1 blader again. Now, if you like this video, you could easily let me know by leaving me a thumbs up or subscribe to see more Beyblade theories with this Beyblade Dad.
It all starts with being the best you can be.